Hey guys, welcome to week 1 Friday. This is your warm-up blog, so go ahead and pause the video and answer them. Here's the first part of your notes on 3.4 for dividing polynomials. And today we're going to talk about synthetic division. And so if you take a look at the first example right here, you guys, so looking at this, what's missing? You have a 3x cubed. But then it jumps into like a 5x. Do you see that? So you're missing a 0x squared. So you got to put a 0 there. Minus 5x plus 10. So the way that you're going to set this up is we're just going to do like a reversed division bar. And again, we're only going to be using the coefficient of these numbers. So by the coefficient, I'm talking about like 3, 0, -5, and 10. And we're going to do 3, 0, -5, and 10. So just put it like that. The number that's going to be out here is kind of going to be x minus 1, but it's not x minus 1. It has to be x minus 1, set it equal to 0, and then you solve for it. So then what is x equal here? Yeah. So you can't just put x minus 1. You got to put x equals 1. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. First, I'm going to bring down the 3. Okay. And then you're going to do 1 times 3 is 3. But you're not going to subtract it. You're going to add it. I know. You're like, what? Don't we subtract this in division? I know, but this is synthetic division. So you're not going to subtract. You're going to add. 0 plus 3 is 3. And then you're going to multiply again. Okay. 1 times 3 is 3. Add it is a -2. 1 times -2 is a -2. Add it, and you have an 8. And I know you're like, well, what the heck is my answer then? This is your answer. So your answer is going to be this 3, this 3, this -2, and this 8. And I know you're like, well, what do I do with it? Well, you're going to go ahead and write it down what the x is. But remember, your x is always going to be 1 less, okay? 1 less than the highest power. You see how that highest power is cubed? So your answer is 3x squared plus 3x minus 2 plus your h here is a remainder, 8 over x minus 1. And this, you guys, is your answer. So you write it out exactly how it is, except you just do 1 less exponent. I know you're thinking, you're like, well, if I go ahead and do long division, will I have the same answer? You should. And if you're like, I'm not sure, well, guess what? I can go ahead and show you guys right now that you will have the right answer. So I'm going to show you guys this long division as if you would normally do it. And let's just go ahead and check just to make sure. Okay, so let's go ahead and draw the bar. So here's my bar. Remember your 3x cubed plus 0x squared minus 5x plus 10 goes on the inside. On the outside is x minus 1. If I were to do long division, x times 3x squared gives you, and distribute it, 3x cubed minus x squared. And then from here, I'm going to subtract it. So that becomes a negative. That becomes a positive. That first term cancels. 0 plus x is going to give you just an x squared. Bring down that -5x. Now, x times x is going to give you, oh, you know what? Hold on a second. I made a typo here. I forgot a 3. -1 times 3 is a -3. Sorry about that. And then it should be a 3 right there. I was like, it's not matching up to my original answer. So what the heck is happening? And I'm like, it's because you made a mistake, Callahan. It's okay. But I caught it. So 3x, then distribute it. You get 3x squared minus 3x. And then remember, we're going to go ahead and subtract it. So when you do subtract it, becomes a negative, becomes a positive. And then -5 plus 3 is a -2x. Bring down that 10. Okay. X times what gives me a -2x minus 2. Distribute it. You get a -2x, positive 2. And then don't you end up with an 8 remainder? So then automatically look at your answer. This was your answer when we did synthetic division. Is that the same answer as what we have right here? Yeah, it is. Your remainder was an 8 with synthetic division. Did you get an 8 with the regular long division? Yes, you did. So you have the same answer, you guys. It's just a different way of doing it. All right, let's try another one. Let's try example 2, okay? So with example 2, I'm gonna have you guys give it a try. Are there anything missing here? Any numbers or letters missing? Nope, it's always gonna be x squared, x, and the number. So then you're gonna draw your synthetic division bar right there. You're gonna use the coefficient, and the coefficient, remember, is always in the front of these numbers. So you're gonna use the number 1, -13, -38. And then what belongs over here is going to be your divisor. But remember, it's not x plus 3. It's x plus 3 set it equal to 0. So then when you solve it, it's going to be a -3. So take a second and try that one on your own. I, of course, will go over it with you guys, but I want to make sure you guys give it a try on your own first. Did you sign in, my dear? Make sure you sign in, okay? Oh, you just need an initial. Yeah, so like your initial with in P right here. Okay. Yeah, just the next time, just make sure you put the initial. Or did you put the check mark, or is that? Is this over here? Yeah. Yeah, next time just put the initial, like the in. No, it's fine. It's just next time when you sign in, just don't put a check mark, put your initial. Okay, yeah. Thanks. Yeah, so do you have the white packet still? Yeah, you don't want to lose that because you're going to be using this every single day until it's due and it's done. All right, you guys, let's go and take a look at this. So with synthetic division, I'm going to go ahead and bring down my 1, okay, and then I'm going to multiply it. So -3 times 1 is going to give me a -3. And then remember, you don't subtract it, you add it. So when I add them, that gives me a -19. I'm sorry, 16. Okay. -3 times -16, if you have a calculator, that's going to give you an 18. So 48, it's a positive 48 because double negative times together give you a positive. So plus 48, you're going to add them, not subtract it. So that gives you a 10. And so that's your answer. Remember, you're always going to use 1 less power. So 1 less than x squared is just 1x minus 16 plus this 10 is going to be your remainder over the divisor of x plus 3. And this is your answer right here. Like that. If you're to do long division, you will have the same answer. I'm not going to show it to you because we already did it once with the last one, but you will have the same answer. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at example 3. All right, so with the remainder theorem, we could do this by synthetic division. So let's take a look at this. Let's just go ahead and set it up. So we're going to have the bar right here. Here we go. And then you're going to take the coefficient of these terms and you ask yourself, is there any of the x's missing? Do I need to put any zeros in there? And so far, I don't think so, because I see that there is like a 2, a 3, a 2, a 1, and then nothing. So it's a line. So then my numbers are 1, 10, 29, and then 24. And then looking over here, x plus 5 equals 0. If I solve it, it's going to give me a -5. So I'm going to have my -5 on the outside. All right, let's go ahead and bring down that 1. So here's the 1. -5 times 1 is a -5. Don't subtract, you're going to add it, which gives you a 5. -5 times 5 is a -25. Add it, you're going to get a 4. -5 times 4 is a -20. And then you have a 4 as a remainder. And so then look, this is 3, right? So it's going to be 1 less. So you're going to start off with 1x squared plus 5x plus 4 plus 4, which is your remainder, over x plus 5. And this, you guys, is your answer. So the last part says, why is x plus 5 not a factor of p plus x? It's not going to be a factor of p plus x because you're left with a remainder. Okay, if you're left with a remainder, that means it doesn't go in perfectly. Okay, so doesn't factor perfectly. If it did factor perfectly, you would not have a remainder. So you could just write that down for the last part. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at this part right here. P of -5. Okay, so if you're looking for P of -5, let's go ahead and move this over. And I'm going to move this over there as well. Right here. Okay, so P of -5. So what this means is that wherever I see an x in this equation, I'm going to replace that x with, you guessed it, -5, right? Because that's what P of x is. So then what I'm going to have here is it's going to be a -5 to the 3rd power plus 10 times -5 squared plus 29 times -5 plus 24. So make sure you write that down. Okay, so then let's take a look at this. -5 to the third power, okay? What this is saying is that it's gonna be -5 times -5 times -5, okay? And also, do you guys notice that the 3 right here is odd? If it's odd, you're gonna be left with a negative answer, okay? Anything with an odd power is gonna be a negative, especially if there's a negative number in there. So 5 times 5 times 5 is 125, but it's a negative. Now, similarly, do you see how on the second part, this is even? If it's even, you're gonna end up with a positive. Why positive? Because you're gonna have a -5 times -5 times 10. -5 times -5 is going to give you a positive 25. 25 times 10 is 250. And then, of course, 29 times 5, if you guys grab your calculator, is going to be a negative 145, and then plus 24. So add everything together. You have a calculator on your table. Go ahead and combine everything together. All right, so then looking at this, negative 125 plus 250 minus 145 plus 24, your answer should just be 4. All right, let's go ahead and jump over to number 4, you guys. So for number 4, let's see. Okay, so then looking at number 4, we're going to go ahead and set this up just like we do with a synthetic division. You don't have anything missing, so 1, -13, -38. On the outside is just going to be a 3. Make sure you guys are copying this part down. We're going to drop down the 1. 1 times 3 is a 3. Add them together is a -10. 3 times -10 is a -30. And if I subtract it, I have a -68. So my answer here is 1x minus 10 plus -68, but that's your remainder, x minus 3. Make sure you copy this part down, okay? And again, why is x minus 3 not a factor of p? I want you guys to take just like a second, write down 2 sentences. It's very similar to the one that we just did. So you guys know why. Because if it is a factor, it will go perfectly and there will be no remainders. But in this case, that wasn't what we have. So there is a remainder, so it is not a factor. All right, and then next, I want you guys to find what is P of 3. So anytime that you see a X, like the one I'm circling right there, you're gonna replace that with a 3. So grab your calculator and tell me what is your answer for that. So you should have something that's like a 9 minus 39 minus 38, which is a negative 30 minus 38, which is a negative 68. All right, you guys, so I think we're pretty much good with this. I don't need to continue on working with us. So for the remaining part of class, I would like you guys to, we're gonna do a little bit of practice with a quizzes. And so there are 15 questions I want you guys to practice with. So come on up, you guys, and you're gonna be grabbing this. I'll go ahead and give you guys this paper right here. So come on up and grab the white piece of paper. Remember, you're going to go ahead and put your name on the upper right-hand side. Your score, of course, is going to be out of 15. And you're essentially just going to go ahead and practice doing synthetic division, exactly what we did in class today. So with your cell phones or your iPads, go to, oh, no, let me give you another. Joinmyquiz.com and then enter code 143577. And then just show your work on the white paper, and I'll be collecting the white paper from you guys.